Hello everyone and welcome back to the Unemployment Journey, where we'll be travelling across Europe's major leagues and trying to win as many trophies as possible. Now, since that 0-0 draw against Schalke, we had a little mid-season tour of Australia, played a couple of games there, kept 3 back-to-back clean sheets, scored a few goals in the process. But we came back against Cologne, who are doing really well in the league, but we managed to beat them 2-0, and it was really, really good performance there. Then, a few days later, we had the 1-1 draw against Bayern Munich. We were the better side by a considerable margin. Djibril Sow with the opening goal in 10 minutes, and then Goretzka scored pretty much soon afterwards, but that was the only shot they had on target, and I was really hoping that would come out of that. But then we played Leipzig, and they're very good. They absolutely dominated us. We didn't get a shot on target in the game. We only had one shot in the whole game as well. So, not the best performance, but we couldn't manage to keep the point either. They beat us 1-0. They probably should have beaten us 4 or 5-0 if I'm honest. But luckily they didn't. Then we played Gladbach, and Gouiri getting on the score sheet once more. Sabitzer getting injured, which has been a big loss for the next couple of weeks, but at the same time we can move Zivkovic over to that right hand side and that should be fine. Let's take a look at the transfer window, because it was dominated by really Djibril Sow towards the end, and I rejected a couple of big bids for him. You can see that bid from Arsenal there, 26 million going up to 36, and I negotiated 40 million up front with another 10 million over 3 years, and I was tempted to say yes, and I really, really was, but at the same time, I think he's very good, and we couldn't find a better player, especially on deadline day, that could come in, that matches his ability, that wanted to join us for decent wages. Well, actually, anyone that was interested, we just couldn't find a player as good as him to come into the side, no matter how much we paid for him. So I rejected everything. He's not very happy about it, but I've negotiated a loan deal, which I'll talk about in a minute, but a few outs in there, not that much money coming in, but at the same time it's some wages off the bill. So like Rami Bentabani, he hadn't really played that much. Vallecano had taken all of his wages. Same with Idrissi and Kor, and Jovanovic, and I just wanted to get a lot of wages off the books just for this year because they weren't playing, and maybe after some first team football in these teams they can actually have some value to them when we try and sell them. A couple of million brought in for a few. Dave Alba went out. He's a decent prospect, but at the same time I feel like we've got better players coming through who, could provide something for us, and there's a 50% next transfer sell on, so if Dortmund don't want him, then at least we get some money in for that. But in the end, only 2 came in. Firstly, Filip Benkovic. He's a much better centre back than Hinteregger in my opinion, left-sided, and provides some real quality there, especially if we're trying to get that Europa League and Champions League football. Obviously, we've spent 7.75 on him, and his value has already gone up to 16.25, so a good year or two here, and I reckon we could probably sell him for 30, 35 if we need to, but he's very, very good defensively. You can see that his heading, his marking, pass, tackling, and he's decent on the ball as well. Good first touch technique and passing. So upgrade on Hinteregger, but at the same time really does provide some depth. And this is the one that I wanted to bring in replacement of So. We've got him on loan for the rest of the year. He's on 2.7k a week, and he's not that far away from So's actual ability. And if we actually compare them, you can see there So is just a little bit stronger, quicker, a little bit better defender as well. But the green one is Paulo Bernardo, and he's not too far away from being as good as Djibril Sow. And he's got a clause in there that we can sign him for 19 million once, well, when we want to. So if we can sell So for 40, 50 million, then at least we've got this one coming in for less than half the amount, who, in my opinion, is near enough just as good, if not potentially better. Is described as a wonder kid, dictates tempo, which is exactly what I want. So it's a bit more adventurous going forward, but at the same time, I'd like to sort of like shore up that defense next to Askasibar, and Kamyed's coming along very, very well. You can see there he's getting better, his star rating's gone up, and he's the long-term prospect for me. And with Paulo Bernardo and Kamyed, one's 20, one's 17, that's a really good future in that base of midfield. But we've got the cup game against Hamburg coming up, and I'll just take you through the team. And this is what it looks like. We've got Trapp in goal, Da Costa at right back, Vallejo and Hinteregger in at centre back, with Ramon at left back. Kamyed and Bernardo is the pairing that I was talking about, and you're going to see that for the first time. Bernardo making his debut, Zivkovic on the right, Kavar and Kostic with Player up front, resting a few of the players there because we've got some big fixtures coming up and I want them fit. And we're struggling for injuries as well, but at the same time, it's just we need to rotate a little bit more. We need to just essentially just work on that little bit of fitness. But let's go into the game and see how we do. It's a decent Hamburg team. I know they're in the division below us, but at the same time, they've always had a good squad about them. They got relegated last year, but I think they've still got some quality about them, so potentially they could upset us. But I think we're good enough all over to avoid that, as we're playing quite well. And Bernardo into Kostic, and it's got Ramon there, and his effort is saved by Pollersbeck. Right, to Costa into Kavar, and it's lost out to David. Now Liebold into Van Drongelen. Liebold again into David. And the ball out, and they're playing quite adventurous football here. They've got a lot of the ball in the opening 5 minutes, 82% possession, which isn't the best start from us, but at the same time, hopefully we can counter-attack as they've scored in the opening 5 minutes. It's a great ball in there by Verlinden, and Jatta finishes that with a great header, and we're just not getting tight on them. As you can see there, just not getting tight. The ball comes in, and it's just beaten Da Costa in the air and headed that into the back of the net. And it's just not good enough. As they're on the ball once more, and they're still dominating possession here. It's Liebold into Kinsombi, and Verlinden's header. And Trapp holds it on. And one thing that I was looking for as well is another goalkeeper. I think Trapp's decent, Rono is okay, but a better goalkeeper will change this team completely. I think Trapp is good enough at this level, as Kostic, what a finish that was. And we've equalised there, but I'll talk about the goalkeeper situation a little bit later on. But you can see there Da Costa on the ball, and then he's putting a great ball into Kostic, and he's taking a touch to get that down and lash that into the top corner, and we like to see that. And we've equalised in the game, although they've got a free kick here. Can we counter? No, we can't. Kinsombi got there just ahead of our player, but when tell him to get creative, usually does the trick. As Wagnerman's on the ball, now Janouts, David into Xerxes, and then passing it around. as Trapp tips that wide. But yeah, I mean, Trapp's a decent stopper of efforts, really. He's just, I think, just a little bit, he's getting on a little bit in terms of age, and he's starting to dip in quality as well. So maybe trying to get a younger, better goalkeeper. Maybe let Ronald go, or Trapp even, and just have a little bit more of a consistent, more consistent performing goalkeeper, as they are playing good football here. And they're still dominating the ball, and they've got some efforts in on this game, but we just need to make sure that they're not clear-cut chances and keep them at bay. As I thought that was going to go in there. That's a decent opportunity, and Verlinden should have scored, but we're not performing that well. We might have to make some changes in at half time if you want to save this game and actually start pressing forward with this, as Zivkovic isn't really playing well, and I'll put Rebic on for him. Not happy with the performance, and what I will do is go to a bit more of this and see if that works. Actually, that's not going to work. Put Kamyid in there as not there, in the middle between them as a deep lying on defend, and then Bernardo goes one way, Cavar goes through that way, and yeah, that should be fine. I'm hoping that will just sort of bring a little bit more balance to the team here. We can keep a little bit more of the ball, pack out midfield a little bit, spray balls like that out wide to Da Costa, and that's over everyone. Now Wagnerman can break. But Bernardo's played okay in this game, considering it's his debut and he only literally joined about a day ago. But we'll wait until about the 70th minute. If things haven't changed, I'll demand more. If things haven't changed by, say, about 70th minute, I'll make a couple more changes. Put Gouiri on, he's in goal scoring form. Xerxes' header goes over. And maybe put Cucurella on for Ramon as well, as they've got the ball once more and they're still dominating possession, but I feel like we're starting to come into this game a little bit more. As Bernardo surges forwards and loses out to Yanaut. And he wins that back, and that's what we wanted to see from him, just winning the ball, being aggressive in play, starting attacks. As Rebic comes in, and has he still got the ball? He does, and Pollersbeck saves that. Good football there. And who's going to be taking this? Kostic to swing in this corner, and Rebic is beaten in the air. Hinteregger plays it out to Kamyid. Hinteregger now Bernardo exchanging passes. Cavar swings that out wide to Kamyid, and Xerxes clears that. And we've got a free kick here in the 71st minute, and we'll see how this goes. Hinteregger into player, and that's the goal. Right, I will make a couple of changes. Bernardo has played well, but I'll take him off for conditioning. Da Costa as well. Don't really have another right back on the pitch. No one can really play right back. Maybe Hasebe. He's not great there, but Toure is injured, and I want to make sure that we've got some fit players, and I can't essentially not have a right back. and we've been struggling for injuries lately as well. So I just want to make sure that Da Costa is fit, because we've only got 2 right backs in the squads, and he is one of them. As Yatta is going forward, let's play that back to Leibold. Now Van Drongelen, Schilling out to Verlinden. Xerxes has scored. Go more positive and tell them to get creative. And we'll see that again. Good ball over the top. Ramon was asleep there, and it's deflected, but should have done better there. Should have cut out that pass. It's Kostic will swing in this corner, and Van Drongelen beats play in the air. Now Vallejo loses out. Come on now. And Cammy is brought down. Oh god, I think they've got a penalty here. Not the best challenge in there from Cammy. And they've got a penalty with 10 minutes to go. Xerxes to take. Let's bury that in the corner. I'm disappointed with that. See there, trap goes the wrong way. We need to go attacking here. We need to change this up. Winger and attack. Push them forward. Not go into his profile. Hinteregger back to Hasebe. Now Kostic. What can he do from here? He's on the corner. And we need to do something. And we need to do something quickly as that comes in. Sal's beaten in the air. Hinteregger back to Hasebe. Back to Ramon. Back to the goalkeeper. You can't be going backwards. Hinteregger. Vallejo. Back to Trap. Now what can Calvar do here? Into Sal. Now Camyids needs to make amends for his foul that essentially could have given them the winner. Rebic now. And straight at Pollersbeck. Very selfish there from Rebic. Come on, show some passion. 4 minutes of added time, and we need to do something. We need to do something here. Got a minute left, and player has broken the offside trap. And come on, he was offside. As there's 30 seconds left, and I really doubt it. I really doubt it. But Linden's on the ball. Great tackle from Ramon there. 10 seconds left, and that we're not going to have enough time. Schilling. They've got another throw in. They're just wasting time now. That's it. We're at the cup, which is not what I wanted to see. I'm not happy with that. Going out of the cup to a team in the division below us, and you can see there, get to the quarterfinal minimum, and we were knocked out in the third round. The board are not going to be happy with that, but you know we're still in the hunt for the league, well, the Champions League places. You can see there, Leverkusen really getting clear, but yeah, it's just not good enough. Just not good enough at all. But that's going to be the end of this episode. Where should we come back for this? League leaders Leverkusen, maybe Stuttgart, maybe we'll come back for this second leg here. I don't know who we're going to be playing, but we'll come back for that second game there. But thank you for watching. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for future episodes, and make sure you hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss any videos. And yeah, I'll see you next episode. Thank you.